We got Brian Baumgartner on. You know him as Kevin Malone. And we just finished up with Creed Bratton, who told us that we were going to be surprised by your voice. That if we hadn't heard your voice outside of Kevin, that I don't know why that's like, of course you don't really talk like that. That would be so fucking weird if you talk like Kevin Malone. So yeah, that makes sense, but it still is kind of funny to hear your real voice.
Is it weird? Is it weird for you?
Yeah, well, a little, although, I mean, it's not like, when he said that, I pictured that you had a voice that was like entire, so it's not that big of a difference, but it is funny to think that the whole time you're on the show, you're just doing like the dumb guy voice.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. I think that it's more the speed with which I talk. I had a little bit that I would do going into meetings, right? Like going into ABC and the executive, we're going to sell this new show. And we would go in and we would sit down and we would be at the conference table and they'd be around the other side. And I would start talking about the show and this is what it's going to be and how we're going to approach it. And you would just see the eye glaze, right? You would just see no one is listening to what I'm saying. And so I would build this into a pitch where about a minute in, I'd be like, all right, guys, so you've not been expecting me to sound the way that I have. So you've heard nothing that I have said so far. So I'm now going to rewind. I'm going to go back. Let's go. And everyone would like laugh. And then we would go back and we would have a conversation. But yes, that, and people approaching me on the street or whatever, that the expectation versus reality is.
It kind of changes my whole opinion of you as an actor almost. Like, that makes that role considerably harder in my mind, that you had to sit there and talk so deliberately slow. Again, I can't believe I thought it was real, because like, who would talk that way? But I mean, it must have been a grind to just sit there and, doofus it up all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think part of what was special about, the collection of actors that had on the show, I mean, I think one of the things that made it super unique was the variety of experience that the actors came from, right? So like Rainn Wilson and I'm not going to mention everybody, but just to give you an idea, like Rainn Wilson and myself, we were from straight theater, right? And then there was like Steve Carell and Kate Flannery and Oscar Nunez and Angela. They were like improv guys. And then like Craig Robinson, maybe the funniest stand-up that I've ever seen in my life. And BJ Novak, amazing stand-up guy. So we had all of these different experiences. And so, yeah, like for me and for Rainn, who played Dwight, like creating a character, that's what we did. So for us, it only made sense to like, okay, well, what if we bring in a little bit of this? Or, like I always say, like my jaw was different. My jaw was different. My body was different. Not as sexy, but I mean, like, but I always approached it like Kevin is just a guy that if he turns, right, his entire body is going to turn to the side. He doesn't have any flexibility, like at the hips. That's a great
way to describe it, yeah.
And so, and also just like that, my feet were like roots into the ground. There's no like swaying or like, talking like this back and forth. It just, so those are like, they were like physical things. And the voice was just sort of a manifestation of that.
Now, do you ever get like, because it is such comfort TV for so many people, the whole world really, that I feel like people kind of just think it's easy. Are you ever like, no, this was hard. Like I was reading you describing about the chili scene and how you dropped it and how much like body acting, how that had to be one take. Are you like, this was really hard for me to do. I'm really fucking good at this. Like it's not, you might find it
okay?
You find it an easy watch, but like, this is because of how good I am.
Well, okay. One, let me be very, very, very clear. I am not performing brain surgery. Okay, so let me just say, just straight up, off the top, I am well aware of that. But yeah, I mean, I think that, particularly as the show went on, there was more physical, stuff for Kevin and, trying to make large physical acts look believable. I mean, there's one, probably my most painful one that I feel like at times I'm still like, oh yeah, that's Rainn right there. I don't even remember. Somehow I don't even remember the setup, but somehow Kevin had something over on Dwight, and Dwight had to do things for him. And at one point, he was giving me a massage in my chair, and Kevin is in the chair, and he's giving me a massage. But and by the way, Dwight, another very physical character as well, is massaging my back and crawling up the file cabinet at the same time, and is like on me, like doing. And Kevin is just supposed to be like, just sit there, right? Like he's enjoying this, because it would take this much physical effort to affect anything in Kevin's back or whatever. Anyway, just things like that. The simplest one, I just referenced this one. I'd forgotten about it. Never think about it. There was, the episode was office workers and the warehouse workers are going to change places. And the office workers are trying to figure out how to load, millions of boxes of paper onto a thing. And so they decided to put grease on the floor to be able to slide the grease. And we call them the talking heads, right? Where the characters are talking to the cameras. And I'm pretty sure that it's Jim who's like just talking to the and Kevin is behind spreading grease and just slips. Just bang, just classic physical, like Chevy Chase back in the day. Yeah. And I must have done that 25 times. Oh. And now I'm like, that cock still gets me right in the
listen, people take it. I do think they take it for granted. I think they think it must have been as fun for you guys to do as it was for us to watch. But I mean, a job's a job, right? I mean, were there times?
But it really was. No, I mean, and I'm making jokes about it now, but no, it was. I mean, we had an absolute blast, and I feel so lucky. I think what people don't realize, I haven't really talked about this again. Not brain surgery. I'm just going to keep saying that. But, I think that there is, especially today in reality world, you don't really, you find a lot of people who don't have training who are on television, right? Mm-hmm. Not really actors, but kind of celebrity, right? And there's the whole, like, I just want to be on TV. I want to be famous. I want to be on TV. And I think there is an idea that, like, if you have a certain look or whatever, you can just be on TV, right? There's no effort involved. Whereas, like, well, no, I mean, like, I went to college for this, like I did theater for 8 years before this. Like, there was a lot that sort of went into it, again, for me. So, not brain surgery, but yes.
But, I think it paid off. I mean, it works. If you went to college and you did all this work, you landed on, you could make the argument the most iconic comedy in TV history.